All right, so biggest thing, and somebody tried this last night of letting me know you had questions from 531. If you're going to let me know that you have questions, I need to know what questions so I can prepare my slides to talk about them. So I want to talk about one from 526 because from grading papers it seemed like we needed to talk about that. But one that I think got a lot of us. Everybody, this is from 531. Look at 531, question 99. Right now, on your paper, did you at least draw a rectangle to represent a shape with length and width?
Yes.
Right? Did you at least label things like it told us to? Clayton said, do whatever you're doing, but then I want you back at your seat because I know that we need to hear this. This looks slightly differently than yours because I changed my spacing to make it nicer. And if you don't have this done yet, maybe highlight what I'm highlighting. Even if you do have this done, you could highlight what I'm highlighting because it's pretty darn useful. So they tell us the width we're going to call W. So we set up that the width is W. Here's where some of us then went off the tracks. What do they tell us about the length? What do they tell us about the length? Jimmy? It's 7 more than what? Ooh, it is 7 more than twice the width. So we then go do, and I'm going to write it again to make sure that you can see it. We do 2W plus 7. Questions on how I set up 2W plus 7. Twice the width would be 2W. 7 more than that, we got to add 7 to it. Hey guys, the papers you just got back, shove them under something. We're not worrying about those right now. We got an hour and a half of class, almost. I'll give us a break at some point through class. That during that break, we'll do candy for people that got their homework done last night. Any questions on why I wrote 2W plus 7?
No.
7 more than twice the width. Then, I do not expect you to have this for your area. I wrote it there as if you really want to know what this can turn into, but do we know what W is? No, we don't. Right? I hope you weren't raising your hand to tell me what W. Nowhere do they tell us what W is. So when I set up area is always length times width. Our length was 2W plus 7. Our width was W. So if you set up 2W plus 7 times W, you might have said, I don't know what to do now, and that's fine. You could have stopped right here. If somebody comes in and tells us, hey, W's 5, then we can do more. But with us not knowing W, kind of tough to do more. If you wanted, you could. This doesn't really help us very much. But you could say, what's W times 2W? And what's W times 7? That's how I get to that answer. But you didn't have to get to that answer. I just wanted to see you set up length times width. What's the length and the width? There's my setup. Questions on that? Elias? Sure? If you need to copy anything, this is my answer key that you can get to on Schoology, right? So, I'm not going to wait for you to write things down. Our number lines here, especially if you didn't check the key on your own, double check that you split those up evenly. So yeah, everyone should be flipping papers. Now, we're not frantically writing stuff down right now, right? You don't have time to think right now. So, check answers if you have them. If you don't have your answers yet, you probably need to take some time to think on your own. So, I show what I did, right? The gap was 27. Here's a mistake some of us are still making. You're accidentally going 1, 2, 3, 4, and you think the division is by 4. But we're counting gaps, jumps, steps that you physically take. So I start here, and I go boom, boom, boom. I had a start point and an end point. That makes me have 4 points. But how many steps did I take?
3.
Just 3. Right? Be careful. It's the amount of steps or jumps or gaps. So that's why that ends up divided by 3. If you're a third off, sorry, Jackson.
Can we do more of those terms on 5-100?
These? Yeah, there are more of those. We keep using more and more negatives and positives now. We used to only see positive number lines like this. But yeah, there will be more of those. There are multiple ways to do this problem. I did it the jump to what I'm going to pay. If it's a third off, how much is on?
Ooh.
Just anybody. When we're going over homework, it's just volunteers.
2/3.
So if it's a third off, it's 2/3 on. So I could multiply by 2/3 if I go numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator, and then I do my division, that's what I pay. Or, if it's a third off, how can I figure out a third of 80?
We could do 80 divided by 3, and then times it by 2.
Or, you could also do a third times 80. Either way, that gives us a discount of 20. I know we.
Like 26.661.
Yeah, 26.6 repeating. So really, we could make that 26.67. It's money. We got around. Right? It's money. You can't have a repeating decimal with money. Got around it. And then we could subtract that, right? There's just an extra step here because we would have to subtract it. And your order of operations work, this is where it's critical to show the steps and only do one thing at a time. Who can tell me where I broke my own rule? Because if I just said do one thing at a time, sometimes we can get away with breaking that rule. Sometimes we can sneakily make it happen. Jackson, do you see where?
At D. With the 2 plus negative 15 and 3 plus negative 12.
So, Jackson's seeing, if you are looking at my answer key, that happened, and also that happened. Did those have anything to do with each other yet? No. That's how I got away with doing 2 things at once. That doesn't touch this yet, right? When I bring them down, so they're safe. Up here, I also did that. I do this to get -1, and I do this to get 4, but are they interacting yet?
No.
No, so I can get away with that. You can also just do one thing at a time and take more steps, but I did want to show some examples of where we can get away with that. Questions? And our candy robot. Guys, the sentence tells you what to do. Pieces wrapped per minute. What does per tell us? Yeah,
By
for-
division.
Yeah, it asks us to divide. It tells us like for every, but to do that, we do division. Just let that jump out of my hand. So we do the pieces, divided by the minutes, and then on your paper, it asks you to figure out how many for 12 minutes. Anyone able to tell me how we could figure out for 12 minutes, Clayton?
Times 12.
Yeah, take this, because that's your for every single minute, and do it times 12. You get like 1,000 something. But I'm going to let that be an answer you got to get on your paper, because guys, sometimes it's not on my answer key, and that's on purpose. Make sure that you're actually thinking and actually doing stuff on your own. And my answer key is like 5 years old. I've changed the homeworks a little bit since then. So that's why this doesn't ask about 12 minutes. I added that part on probably last year, I think.
Yeah.
All right, that's 531. If it's done, turn it in. If it's not, get it done tonight. I know that was boring because you already had done that, but now I need you back. Okay, so turn that in. Do some jumping jacks if you need.
I might need some too. Honestly.
We could call them jumping jimmies.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Jimmy, if you fall asleep, we're all gonna do some jumping jimmies. So if you don't want to do that, stay awake, right? And this will get more entertaining as I have you guys doing your work. Hey, so biggest thing here, I just wanted to talk about if you need a refresher. This from 526, you do not need to get out 526. But the biggest thing I wanted to review, when we're graphing, your X, your first number, is your left and right location. Negatives are over here, positives are over here, right? Just like the number line. Your Y is your up-down location. Again, positives up here, negatives down here, like what we would expect from a number line. If you need help with graphing problems, please come see me. If you are still working on 531, put it away. You're not very sneaky. Now, I know this says 532, but you need to look at your paper 533. So pull out paper 533. It's got a picture of a basketball court on it. It's got a picture of a basketball court. Jimmy, to help you stay awake, you want to read for us? Yes, I can get it for you, though. You want to read, Clayton? Read about the basketball court. Yeah. All right, Clayton, read for us.
Parent Club at Post Falls Middle School needs 183 feet of fencing to go around the regular outdoor basketball court behind the school gym. The club volunteers will only need to place a fence on 3 sides of the court because the wall of the gym will from the fourth side form the fourth side.
So if you look at the picture, guys, what Clayton just said is like, we don't need a fence over here. The building is there. Right? So they don't need a fence there. They're only going to actually fence 3 sides. The building keeps the other side safe. Go ahead.
The length of the court is 32 feet more than the width.
Pause. Does that feel important?
Yes.
What could we do with important information? Highlight it. I mean, yeah, but you've got highlighters, and then you can switch colors, right? You can like trade with your partner. You can use a different color. Sir.
In band class, we had this. It said how cold, what was the coldest weather you could stay in, and some guy calculated it and how cold they could stay.
For band?
Yeah.
How
Like
does
an
that relate to
instrument,
band?
or I don't know. But we thought it was you.
Wow, I mean, that is something I would do.
But we-
All right, continue. Want to keep reading?
So, one of the shorter sides will be 5 feet shorter than the other one to be from the gate. For the gate.
So that sentence is kind of confusing. That's why I put the picture in there. One side is 5 feet shorter because the gate. That's like this side, right? That is 5 feet shorter because the gate. So they're comparing it to the other end of the court that is not 5 feet shorter, right? So what I want you and your partner to start to do, and if you don't have graph paper, that's a habit that we should all be in. It's here and there and all over the place. Could you draw a picture and start label? I know I put a picture on your paper, but it'll be easier if like we just draw our own picture. Could you draw a picture and start labeling based off what they told us? Try this for a couple minutes. Try to draw a picture of what they told us. Start labeling based on what they told us. I think it's going to help if we pull one of these pieces around. Are these dedicated to homework or are they blank? Why did you got graph paper? I would start by drawing a rectangle. Right, we're going to kind of try to use what they told us to label the sides. We're going to use what they told us to label our sides. Hey, Elias, Jimmy's got extras. Trying to look you up. I'm putting it back. What could we call the width? W, right? It feels safe to just use W for width. I want some help. Like the Beatles, right? Need some help. Major, would you label W up here, or would you label W on one of your sides? On one of the sides, because they tell us the length is longer, right? So W is going to be on one of my shorter sides. Jackson, can you tell me something else you labeled?
I labeled the top thing L plus 32.
L? They say it's 32 feet more than the length. Can you read that sentence out loud for us about the length? Wait, didn't we yesterday say if we say something like the length is? How would we say like the length is?
L plus 32.
L equals. It's not 32 more than the length, it's 32 more than what? The width. So how do we write 32 more than the width? How do we write 32 more than the width? You want another shot? You want to save yourself?
L equals 32.
It's 32 more than the width. Jackson, are you thinking? It doesn't say the length is 32. It says the length is 32 more than the width. What is the width? What did we call it? W. So W, but 32 more than that. Yes, and that's what we need to label. Yes, it's the length, but it's not L plus 32. It's W plus 32. The length is 32 more than length, or width. My bad. Now I'm stuck saying what Jackson had said. Jimmy? Yeah. Hang on like one more minute. Let's just finish this rectangle, because then it'll be a good time to go, and you'll have everything you need. What about the other side? They said something else. Caroline, can you help me? Then what? Yeah, so this side that had the gate, right? Like, however you want to show there was like a gate here. They then tell us that other side is W minus 5. So, I want to play with some options. Like, do we know how long the width is?
No.
Do we know how long the length is? Aside from it's 32 more, right? What if we try like 10 feet for the width? What if we try 10 feet for the width? What would this, I'm going to use red up here. Do not, like, this is not permanent, right? We're just testing stuff. What if I try 10? What would this become? 42. What would this be?
10.
What would this be?
5.
Only 5, right? And then along the building, do I need fence? No. So, I mean, I could even put here, like, building. That does not equal what? Clayton's paying attention. How much fence are they going to use? Did the problem tell you? Check your problem. How much fence are they going to use? 183. Are we close to 183?
No.
So what if what do you want to try the width as now? 10 didn't work.
Wait, I need to figure out the sides, you could do 183 divided by 3.
No. So you're very close. You're trying to do algebra, which we're going to do next week. I love what you're thinking. You're off slightly because I haven't taught it to you yet. Okay? So, back up with me. You tried to push on the gas and get too far away. Back up. What could we try for the width if 10 didn't work? Do you think only bumping up by 1 will get us that much closer to 183? Clayton says try 20. I agree. Try 20 for the width. 52. Liam's still not here. I should be making a stack for Liam.
70.
And if you thought I was going to make you do this all on your own, well, some days I do. But not today. This little process that we're trying gets us into what we call the 5D process. The paper I just gave you, that's what we're about to look at and use. So, if my camera would ever load. This handout is this problem. But it doesn't show all the information, so I needed to put that information on your paper for you to have. So, hopefully you got a start on this. The 5D process is, CPM is kind of nicknamed this, and other textbooks use it too, but the 5D, as I would write on here.
Isaac Bailey, please report to the Perry office. Isaac Bailey to the Perry office, please.
So when problems say you can use the 5D process, this is what it's talking about that we're about to learn. The first D. Describe or draw what we know. You guys already did that, right? So their drawing is kind of missing a couple things. The side with the 5 feet missing, we called W minus 5, right? What did we call the other end side? Just W. What did we call that length?
W plus 32.
Yeah, W plus 32. So we did our describe draw. Then our define, and this is also where I would have said W minus 5 and W plus 32, because we just defined that that's what's gonna happen. Once we, it's what we just started trying. We tried 10. And we got edges of 10, 5, and 42. Was 10 big enough? No, we did this together. Too small. So what did we do to our guess? So we upped our guess. So we raise our guess. So when we try 20, what's our W minus 5? 15. What's our W plus 32? 52. What happens when we add those together? Too small, too big, or just right? So what should we do with our guess? Up it more. You guys as a team decide what to try next. You know it needs to be something bigger than 20. You can try 25, you can try 30, you can try 50 if you want. I don't know. 50.
47.
Trying 50? So that if you're trying 50, we put that over there. Great. And then we start to calculate the other parts of it. What are we trying? 40? Trying 40. Trying 50. This is your homework. This is not what we're doing. This is a different thing. Nah, this goes with that homework problem. Where's your work here to support? So your side, your W, you're saying you made 45. Then we want to show what happened along with that.
I decide over here. What number did you want? 50? Okay, let's put 50. I did 43.
Mrs. Fisher, I might text the team unless you're wanting to take a walk.
Said he sent it back. He
Okay.
was all the way down by the library, so that's just all the way.
I'm not that surprised, but I mean, if it helps him stay awake.
Yep, so right now, you gotta write 50 minus 5. You gotta show how you got it.
All right. I saw a few of you guys trying 40, so I'm going to give 40 a shot here. So if you did 40, help me out. If you did 40, what's your W minus 5? Some of you guys did this. Help me. What's 40 minus 5? 35. What's 40 plus 32? 72. So when we add up those edges, this is where I really need your help. What do we get when we add those all? 75 plus 72. What's 75 plus 72? So this makes 75, right? 40 and 140. Ooh, we're getting close. But are we too small or too big? Too small still. So we're too small. So what are we going to do with our guess? Get bigger. Who's got another suggestion?
60. 56.
Did you try 50?
46.
So 50. What would the minus 5 be now? 45. What would the plus 32? Careful. Because it's 50 plus 32.
95.
No. Hey guys, everybody stop for a minute. Side 3 is taking the width we chose, adding 32. So if the width I chose is 50, it's 50 plus 32 makes 82. $50 plus 45 plus 82. Well, I know that's 95. I just like verifying. Oh, we're so close! 177. Am I too small or too big? Now hold on. How too small am I?
5.
Think before you answer. What are we trying to get to?
Oh.
183. So how too small am I? Now hold on. Here's the tricky part though. Does that mean I should add 6 to each of these? You got an idea of what I could do? Ooh, what if I try just adding 2? Because if it's 6, if I add 2, I'll end up adding 2, and I'll end up adding 2. So what if we try 52? 52 minus 5? 47. 52 plus 32. Oh, each of these just goes up by 2. Didn't we say each of these is just going up by 2?
84.
Like Goldilocks. Did you guys see that commercial during the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
I forget what the actor's name is, but they made a guy be Goldilocks. Alright, so guys, what we really just did is we said, here's what we're trying to get to. Let's take a guess and see if we get there. If we don't, we adjust our guess. So on your 5.3.2 paper, on your 532, you can write whatever you want for like what the 5D process is, but if you want my own words, it's a guess, right? Because we guessed, what about 10? What about 20? What about 40? Then we checked, we adjusted, and then we tried again. Yeah, guess, check, adjust, repeat till we get what we want, right? So let's try another one of these and see if we can start to get into a flow. But don't worry, you're not on your own with your setup. Anyone want to read about Laura's vehicles? No, not Clayton. All right, Clayton, read about Laura's vehicles. On that paper where we just wrote. Laura takes. Hey guys, right here. Look up here. Right here, the paper you just wrote on, we're going to A. Right? Laura takes. We're right there. Gentlemen, you able to focus? Clayton's going to read for us. All right, Clayton, go ahead.
Laura takes very good care of her vehicles.
Would Stella Zarelli please report to the Perry office? Stella Zarelli to the Perry office, please.
All right, continue.
Laura takes very good care of her vehicles. She owns a blue van and a red truck. Although she bought them both new, she has owned the truck for 17 years longer than she has owned the van.
Pause. Does that feel important?
Yes.
So what could we do? Highlight it. The truck for 17 longer than the van. All right, continue.
If the sum of the ages of the vehicles is 41 years.
Wait, what is sum? As we're reading, we should be thinking, what does sum mean? Addition, right? So sum is 41. Okay, continue.
The sum is 41 years. How old is the van and how old is the truck?
So I got a setup for you. Right? So this is going with 109A. 109A. Right, this is 109A. So what's one thing worth writing down that like we learned from the story problem? What's one thing that we could write down? I realize I should do this over here so I have a copy to hand to Liam when he gets back. Ooh, now do we have to write like truck? I agree with you, but like, so we could say, or like T is, what do we use for is? Equals. Guys, you keep trying to use plus, and is when we add. Or like sum is when we add, right? But if we're just saying truck is, that's like saying Jimmy is, what, 12 years old, 13 years old? Yeah, if I say Jimmy is 12, that doesn't mean Jimmy plus 12. It means Jimmy equals 12, right? So truck is, how do we put 17 older than the van? Yeah, it's probably easier if we put the V first, right? Get in that habit of V plus 17. Jimmy, you with me? We're doing V plus 17. What else was important enough that we highlighted it and we're going to put over on this paper? So wait, how do I write that though? Sum is sum of what? So by both vehicles, what letters am I going to like add together right here? T plus V equals what? So down here, what vehicle am I going to be guessing? The van or the truck? The van. How am I going to figure out the truck? We got to add 17, right? We said truck is V plus 17. So guys, right here above truck, I would write V plus 17. Right above van, I would write V. We're guessing our V. But we know the truck is 17 older, so you do not need to write this down because you're going to see how wrong it is very quickly. But if the van was 3 years old, how old's the truck? 3 plus 17? Please think before you answer, because when you think, you get it right. It's crazy. So then, if I do truck plus van, okay, 20 plus 3, ooh. Am I even close to 41? No. We're too low. So what am I going to do with my guess? We're going to up the guess. I want to see which team can figure this out. So we try 4, try 5, try 7, 10. All right. Ready? You know 3 didn't work. You know 3 didn't work. So we're here using this table, because unless you want to build this whole table yourself, we can take this info and come use this. Take this table and make it. So let's use this table. So we said, yeah. So that's why I have a job. I come here. So put a V above van, right? And then we said above truck. Like look up at my screen if you need. We said truck is V plus 17. Yeah. I don't know what you guys are going to practice, but Jimmy, either with Mrs. Fisher or with me, because you're going to miss out on some of this 5D practice. When you go to do this problem, if you struggle, get help from us, okay? Because this is like what you're going to miss some more practice of.
I'm going to do some Wilson stuff with you first, and then at the end I might have him do some East.
Sweet.
Like, we'll have a little bit of extra time, I think.
And I think, Jimmy, you should probably just sleep tomorrow morning. Probably because your dad was talking about potentially tomorrow also. I'm thinking maybe just sleep is a better bet. Then we can maybe try it again Thursday, right? Anyone getting close?
I'm getting close.
Yeah? I know I only give you space for 3 trials. Hey, hold on. Please do not write down here. This is a different problem. If you need more space, you can grab some graph paper. Guys, we were not even close. Like, 23 is kind of far away from 41. I would have bumped my guess up to like 10. Excuse me. Maybe like 10. Also, because 10's a nice number. So I'm going to try 10 out here. Right? You guys keep trying whatever you're trying. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. If I try 10, what is 10 plus 17? 27. What is 27 plus... Ooh, I'm closer. I'm closer. Josh, you want to share what you figured out? Hey, Elias, you want to quit playing with highlighters like they're toys? Okay, but you're not using them to highlight anything, so I don't know why they're in your hand. Okay, can you just hold a pencil right now and engage in this with us? Josh seems excited about something. Josh.
I realized I didn't, so I figured out 10. So 10, I mean, like, the answer of 10 is 37. 37
Yeah.
is like 4 away from 41. So all I did was just like split 41. I mean, 4 in half.
So Josh is saying we're 4 too low. If I make the van 4 years older, the truck is going to get 4 years older. So instead, he split the 4, and what guess did you try? So Josh is saying if we do 12 for the van, what's 12 plus 17? So 29, and then 29 plus 12, aha, 41. Take a moment to quietly read B on your own. So back on this paper. We're kind of going back and forth between papers, right? Read B about Ryan. Just quietly on your own, then we'll talk together. Yes, we're going to take a break. Once we do Ryan's, we're going to take a break. once we do Ryan, we're going to take a little reading about Ryan. So we're back on this page. So, real quick, did this make sense? Like, we're like guessing a number, adding 17 with it, putting them together. So we're going to do the same thing down here with a new situation. With Ryan. Ryan's thinking of a number. What do we do when we don't know what a number is? Yeah, we could just use X, right? So if Ryan's thinking of a number, we would probably just call it X right now. That's the copyright. Like when you look at a book, it's copyright date. If you think you know what to do, try it out. In a couple seconds here, I'll see if someone can help me set up. Wow, wait, what? Right? Okay, what? Who? Anyone want to volunteer to help me? Clayton, I can't call on you for everything. Lakin, help me out. Because we're going to use both of these papers like together, right? We're going to kind of say, all right, I'm going to take this story, and then I'm going to use this table to help me with my work. What do you think we should do? Do we know what Ryan's number is? So what could we call it? So we could say Ryan's number is X. So then there's some sort of... You guys ever watch like Magic on TV? Like, I will admit my age and say, like, back when cable was the only thing to watch, there was no streaming, you just watch what's on, right? So I used to watch Magic on TV, I'm not joking, and this magician would, and maybe I'll find one of these videos and we can watch it on Thursday, but this magician would, like, through the TV, right? He'd be like, think of a number, like, get it in your head. Be like, now do this, now do that, now, and like, then he would end up knowing what number you ended up with. I'm sorry to spoil anything. But I was a little kid and I was not a math teacher and I did not realize that. So Ryan, hey guys, Ryan's trying to show off to his friends and he says, look, you multiply that number by 6. Then subtract 15, and you will end up back at your original? So how could we write multiply by 6, but then subtract 15? If we called Ryan's number X, our do, they tell us multiply Ryan's number by 3, then subtract 15. Okay, if you guys don't want time for homework, I can just wait. I'm perfectly fine. I can drink some more coffee. Oh, and how could I write that we're going to triple that number and then subtract 15? Or, sorry, not triple. We're multiplying by 6. My bad. Yes, but we like to write it better with the 6 in front. So the do that they tell us to do, 6 times the x, and then minus 15. So our do, down here we can write, we're going to do 6 times the x, and then minus 15. We got to multiply first. Okay, so... go ahead and try something. I'll try one with you to make sure you're doing it right. What number do you want me to try? We'll do cards. Elias, what number do you want me to try? 13? Sure. 13. So then, 6 times 13 minus 15.
39 times 2. 78.
Ooh. So that got 63. No. So, Lakin, what would you like me to do? Lakin says we're way past. So he's pulling us back by 10. He said try 3. What is 6 times 3? What's 6 times 3? 18
3.
minus 15. Ooh. Yes, it is. Because we got the number we started with. That's what we were trying to do. Yeah. Right? Like, take a break. You need to be back here by 11:15. If you want to stay here and work on homework, fine by me. Take a break. Be back by 11:15. Yeah, but you don't have any math tomorrow. Alright, gonna be awkward if I keep recording for the break, so. Reading for us. And you know I'm gonna pause us as or you can pause us for us. Josh, do you think you will know when to say pauses?
Yeah.
So you can read, but make sure you pause and tell us to highlight. Like, and you might as well just say pause out loud since we're kind of getting used to that.
Okay, guys. Okay. So, the scaling triangle has 3 unequal side lengths. The medium length side is 7 centimeters longer than the shortest side. Pause! Guys, we need to highlight this immediately.
What do we need to highlight?
The medium length side is 7 centimeters longer than the shortest side.
So y'all should probably highlight that. So you said highlight the medium, 7 centimeters longer than the shorter. Whenever you're ready to keep going, you can release yourself from the pause.
The longest side is twice as long as the shortest side. Guys, we need to highlight this.
I'm going to change colors. Guys, it is better to switch your colors. Because it activates your brain that they're 2 different things you're coding in different colors. Right? Like when I change colors, I know it takes more effort. But you need to be getting in the habit. Change colors. Alright, Josh, you ready to continue? Or is there more reading to read?
The total perimeter is 39 centimeters. Guys, we need to highlight this in a different color right now.
I love it. Hold on, I want to offer something. Do you guys trust Josh?
No. Yeah, no.
Alright, I'll wait. You know I wasn't done. Do you trust Josh to come up and try to walk you completely through this problem?
No. Yes.
Do you think you can get through it on your own?
Yes.
Josh has had you highlight all the important stuff. You have this table on your paper, but notice the define asks us, like, how many... Okay, so let's wait to get down here. What are the describe draw things that we're going to write out, like, more efficiently? Remember, I'm trying to do this on my paper so I can give it to Liam, but now I realize my pens have bled through. But either way. So what was, like, the first thing you guys highlighted? So wait, what could we use to represent the medium? M! So let's write down M is...
Grayson Wilson, please report to the Perry office for just a moment. Grayson Wilson to the Perry office for just a moment, please.
Elijah, what could I write for M is? What do they tell us about the medium side? It's what? No, that's the total perimeter. Don't just search for a number and give me that. Read. What do they tell us about the medium? Not that it's 7. Keep reading. 7 longer than the short. How could I write 7 longer than the short?
7 equals
S.
Guys, we were emphasizing this yesterday. The 7 is not the first thing you write. Even though that number came before, it's 7 longer. We got to add 7 to something. Okay, we got medium. Liam's not here. Liam, you should come back soon. Reese, what else could we write in our describe draw? How could I represent the longest side? Sure. L equals, how do I write it? Sorry, I kind of switched my colors. I did not notice I had highlighted in green and blue, and now I switched them around. So wait, the longest is twice as long as short. How do I put twice as long as short?
S times
2 times S. You're right. Like, we could have written S times 2, but this is nicer. So we got our medium side. We got our longer side. What side have we not talked about yet? How many sides does a triangle have?
3.
So we got our medium. We got our long. What side are we missing? I used S here. I used S there. I want to still use S. So S is equal to?
S minus 7.
No, literally just S. Guys, do not make this harder than it is. You are using S to talk about the medium. You're using S to talk about the large. So try to still use S. Down here in our define section, we're going to set up short, medium, and long. What did we say about the short? Nothing. It is the short. What did we say about the medium?
S plus 7.
So I'm going to make a note, either below it or above it, that it's S plus 7. And actually, I'm probably going to darken that up a little bit. What note are we going to put by the L?
2 times S.
That it's 2 times S. Okay, and what's the perimeter supposed to come out to be? $39, right? Guys, I would split this space up. It's gonna look more confused. Now, S shouldn't need much space. But then M and L, you want a little bit of space to, like, put what they turn into. You can make this more than just 3 trials. But, so if we're trying to get a perimeter of 39, would it make sense to make my short side 30? No. So, like, think before you guess. Excuse me. I don't want us to guess together. Yeah, I've been teaching for an hour straight, and I slammed breakfast before you guys showed up because I had a student show up at 7:15 this morning. Which was a good thing. We got a lot done. Like, humans burp. It happens. Yes. Alright, so try a guess for S. I wouldn't do 30. I probably also wouldn't do just like 5. That feels like too small. So, like, try to make a guess that makes sense in your head. Well, if I make S 30, the medium will be 37, the large will be 60, and my perimeter can only be 39. Remember, perimeter is when you add up all 3. So that would be way too big. So try a guess. You guys can work together with each other, or you don't have to.
Also, if you put 5 plus S, then the
Show me.
medium would be bigger than the large.
Show me. Okay, so that's the problem. I need you writing on your paper. I don't need you talking right now. So that's why I'm stopping you from talking and saying write it. No, I like what you were trying to say, but I want everyone to discover it on their own, not just have you tell them. But for me to see, so that you don't have to finish your sentence, write it down. Yes, sir. You can. I don't know that we'll get decimal numbers right now, but like we can. You can. Like you're allowed. That makes your math harder. Jackson, move over to that seat. Because Elias can't move and you two can't be sitting beside each other. From now on, you two cannot sit next to each other. Understood? You two are not good for each other academically. You might be great for each other socially. You're not good academically. Now that we've given everyone a chance to do it, Jackson, what did you want to tell us about if we try 5? Oh, we can try it.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make sense.
Why? Tell me, talk me through.
Because the small one's 5, and you add 7 to 5 is 13, but 5
7, 5 plus 7 is what?
13.
No, it's not. This is why I keep telling you to write your math down.
12.
12. And why is that an issue? What's our large side?
10.
Can our largest side be smaller than our medium?
No.
This doesn't make sense. But either way, I'm going to find the perimeter just because I want to. 17 plus 10, so 27. So we're too small, right?
But like this one,
Yeah.
what I did is I put 8 for small.
Okay, hold on. Well, I was going to ask for somebody else's guess, but all right, since you already said it out loud, I'm going to change colors as I change my guess. All right, now, Josh, let's make sure we didn't make any math mistakes, right? Because that sometimes happens. What's 8 plus 7?
8 plus 7 equals
15. And then double our guess of 8. 16. So then, if we're going to add up to find the perimeter, 8 plus 15 plus 16. Well, I know this together is 31. Plus another 8. I think we got it? Why were you asking about decimals?
Oh yeah, because I think I did the math wrong.
I wonder if you did this math wrong.
No, I did the math wrong on median.
Guys, that plus 7 is tricky. It's a trap door. So we got it. With our small side being 8, we got it. This starting to make a little bit of sense?
Yeah.
Try this one on your own, Travis and Angela. Do you guys want to read together, highlight together?
No.
Okay, do it on your own then. Ooh, difference. Oh, we got a lot of vocab up here. Difference is 4. Product is 96. I think we should get some help to set this up together. So if we're thinking of 2 positive numbers, what could we call those 2 positive numbers?
2 plus.
It's 2 positive. Do we know what they are? Not yet. What do we do when we don't know numbers? So we have x. So I'm going to write we have 2 numbers. 2 numbers. We'll call one x And what should the other one be?
B. Oh wait, no, I need Y. T.
We might as well just use y, since they're next to each other in the alphabet. Two numbers, x and y. Now, if they have a difference of 4, we have a difference of... How do I do that? I'll take a volunteer on this, because I don't want to put anyone on the spot.
Wait.
We want to show that they, between these numbers, have a difference of 4. So if I call my first number x, what does it mean for numbers to have a difference of 4? Anyone have a sibling whose age is a difference of 4? That's why we're talking about it. It means there's 4 between them. Right? Difference, there's 4 between. So, if you are, how old are you? 13. If your sibling had a difference of 4, your sibling could be 9. Or they could be, what's 13 plus 4? 17. Either of those would have a difference of 4. So here's what's going to be easier. Our y, if we make that our second number, let's just make it have a difference of 4 by saying it's just going to be x plus 4. If we want it to have a difference of... Now, you could also do minus, but it's easier to add. I feel like it's easier to add. What's the do? What do they tell us needs to happen? I highlighted it in green. The product is 96. So, wait, what does product tell me to do? No, that would be sum. What is product? And if you can't remember, you should probably make a note. Of what?
I mean, multiplication.
Multiplication. I should see some pencils moving. So they're saying x times y, right? We said we called this y, but we know it's x plus 4, equals 96. Yeah, like word product. When we produce numbers, it's multiplication. You should make this note on your paper, since that is confusing you. Product is multiplication. Anyone want to make our first guess? Your first guess, you can just kind of throw at the wall and then see are you too high or too low.
10. Wait, no, 9.
I liked 10 better, because 10 feels like a nicer number. What? So, okay, if my first number's 10, what's my second number? 14, because we need to make it a difference of 4. What's 10 times 14? Are we too big or too small? So you decide what to do next. If 10 was too big, you decide what to do next. I don't believe you until I can see it. Seeing is belief. So if 10 was too big, should we go up or go down?
Down.
Go down.
Or go up. Go up.
Do you think just go down to 9? Or go down farther than 9? Alright, I'm going to go down to 5. You do not need to do what I'm doing. But I'm going to go down to 5 just because. So then I could make a difference of 4 by doing that. Ooh, I think I overshot it. Jackson, what would you like me to try?
12 times 8.
So what you mean in my situation then is try 8 and 12, right? No, it is not. Because how we set this up, we're saying the second number is for bigger than the first. If you set yours up the other way around, that's fine. But my setup is whatever I put here, I'm adding 4 to get there. So if I want 8 and 12, I need to do 8 as my guess. 12 as my 4 more, what is 8 times 12? Boom. And the declare is where you, like, celebrate your answer. So what did we figure out? What are our mystery numbers? 8 and 12. So your declare could be 8 and 12 work. And in my head, all I think about, I don't even know if you guys know these cartoons. When he says, I do declare, right? We're not going to let it play because I don't want my video to get pulled down. If I play more than 30 seconds, it could. So, our declare, though, I do declare 8 and 12 are the numbers. We will leave this for another time. You have the last, 8 minutes to get as much done on your homework as you can. Yes. So the problem with that is those two numbers aren't 4 away from each other. It already tells us the difference of my numbers is 4, so they need to be 4 away from each other. These are not. So you broke the rule there. You found 2 numbers that work, but they don't satisfy what it wanted. Hang on, let me stop my recording so you're not just awkwardly in it.